What happens when a single moment of anger unravels a web of lies, exposing the raw truth beneath? In the quaint town of Willow Creek, where the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the rustle of autumn leaves, a storm was brewing inside the cozy Karen's Café. It was a place known for its warm ambience, where locals gathered to share stories over steaming lattes. But on one fateful afternoon, a single accusation would shatter the café's peace, revealing the fragility of trust and the devastating power of unchecked emotions. The day began like any other. The café buzzed with the hum of conversation, the clink of porcelain cups, and the soft indie music playing in the background. Maya, a barista with a bright smile and a knack for remembering customers' orders, was behind the counter, juggling espresso shots and friendly banter. Among the regulars was Karen Mitchell, a middle-aged woman with sharp features and a penchant for being noticed. Karen frequented the café, always with a designer purse slung over her shoulder and a phone glued to her hand, ready to document any perceived slight for her modest social media following. On this particular day, Karen was in a foul mood. Her order, a complicated latte with 3 pumps of vanilla, half soy, half almond milk, and a sprinkle of cinnamon, had taken longer than usual. The café was packed, and Maya, along with her coworker Javier, was working at a frenetic pace to keep up. When Karen's drink finally arrived, she inspected it with a scowl, claiming it was too cold and not frothy enough. Maya apologized profusely, offering to remake it, but Karen's voice grew louder, drawing the attention of nearby customers. "This is unacceptable," Karen snapped, her voice cutting through the café's hum. "I come here every day, and this is the kind of service I get? It's because I'm white, isn't it? You people always give me the worst service." The accusation landed like a grenade. The café fell silent, all eyes turning toward the counter. Maya froze, her brown eyes wide with shock. Javier, wiping down the espresso machine, stopped mid-motion, his jaw tightening. The word racism hung in the air, heavy and toxic. Customers shifted uncomfortably in their seats, some pulling out their phones to record the unfolding drama. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry if there was a mistake," Maya said, her voice trembling but professional. "Let me make you a new drink on the house." "Don't patronize me," Karen shouted, slamming her hand on the counter. "I know what's going on here. You think you can treat me like this because of who I am? I'm going to report this to the police. This is discrimination." The situation spiraled quickly. Karen's tirade grew more heated, her words laced with venom as she accused the staff of targeting her because of her race. She pointed fingers, her voice rising to a shrill pitch, demanding to speak to the manager. The manager, a soft-spoken woman named Lila, tried to de-escalate, but Karen was relentless, threatening lawsuits and vowing to expose the café online. Unbeknownst to Karen, the café had recently installed security cameras after a string of minor thefts. Every word, every gesture was being recorded. Lila, sensing the situation was beyond repair, quietly signaled Javier to call the police to ensure everyone's safety. As Karen continued her rant, a young woman named Elise, sitting in the corner with a sketchbook, watched the scene unfold. Elise was a freelance artist, a quiet observer who often came to the café to draw. She wasn't a regular, but her keen eye noticed something Karen didn't: the small, blinking red light of the security camera above the counter. The police arrived within minutes, 2 officers stepping into the tense atmosphere. Karen, now tearful, spun a tale of victimhood, claiming she'd been humiliated and discriminated against. She pointed at Maya, accusing her of deliberate mistreatment. Maya, barely holding back tears, tried to explain, but her voice was drowned out by Karen's theatrics. The officers, unsure of what to believe, took statements from both sides and promised to follow up. As the police left, Karen stormed out, vowing to ruin the café's reputation. She posted a scathing video on social media, tearfully recounting her horrific experience and accusing the staff of racism. The post went viral within hours, flooding the café's online reviews with hateful comments. Strangers called for boycotts, and the café's phone rang nonstop with threats. Maya, Javier, and Lila were devastated, their livelihoods hanging by a thread. But then came the twist. Elise, the quiet artist, had recorded the entire incident on her phone as a backup. She'd seen too many stories like this, accusations twisted to fit narratives, truth buried under outrage. She approached Lila after the police left, offering her footage. Lila, grateful but cautious, reviewed it alongside the cafe's security footage. What they saw was chilling. The cameras captured Karen's full rant, unfiltered and unedited. Not only had she accused the staff of racism, but she'd also hurled insults at Maya, calling her incompetent and unfit for the job. She'd mocked Javier's accent, telling him to go back to where he came from. The footage showed Maya's professionalism, her repeated apologies, and Javier's restraint despite the personal attacks. It was clear, Karen's accusations were baseless, a projection of her own frustration and entitlement. Lila made a bold decision. She released the footage to the police and, with Elise's permission, shared it online. The response was swift and overwhelming. The video spread faster than Karen's post, exposing her lies to the world. Comments flooded in, condemning Karen's behavior and praising the cafe staff for their composure. Hashtags like Justice for Karen's trended, and supporters flocked to the cafe, leaving generous tips and heartfelt reviews. But the story didn't end with vindication. Karen's life unraveled. Her employer, a local law firm, saw the footage and fired her, citing damage to their reputation. Her social media accounts were deactivated after relentless backlash. Friends and neighbors distanced themselves, whispering about the woman who'd cried wolf. Karen, once a fixture in Willow Creek's social scene, became a pariah. Yet the true heartbreak lay with Maya. Despite the cafe's restored reputation, the ordeal left her shaken. She'd always prided herself on her kindness, her ability to make every customer feel welcome. But Karen's accusations cut deep, planting seeds of doubt. Had she done something to provoke this? Could she have handled it better? The weight of being unfairly targeted lingered, a quiet scar on her spirit. Elise, the unexpected hero, continued visiting the cafe, sketching in her corner. She and Maya struck up a friendship, bonding over their shared love of art and resilience. One day, Elise showed Maya a drawing she'd made during the incident, a portrait of Maya behind the counter, her face a mix of strength and vulnerability. "This is who you are," Elise said softly. "Don't let her take that from you." The cafe recovered, but the memory of that day lingered. It was a reminder of how quickly truth could be twisted, how a single voice could spark chaos, and how fragile trust could be. For Maya, it was a lesson in resilience, but also in the cost of standing tall. For Karen, it was a reckoning, a bitter consequence of her own making. And for the town of Willow Creek, it was a story they'd tell for years, a cautionary tale about the power of words and the weight of truth. ND.